A few things here. Give me a New York second here. This is ridiculous. All right, I'll explain why I'm a wee bit late for all of you who probably wondering what's going on here. All right. First of all, I don't know why I'm so dark over here. I'm just going to have to go with my comb over up close a wee bit. All right, let me readjust this in New York second. I don't know where my comb is. Oh, brother. Brother, sister, mother, I always say. All right, come on. I need brighter than that. Oy, oy, oy. Excuse me. Okay, now, for all of you who are probably wondering, why am I doing this particular one live instead of the one that I had previously set up? Well, I'm going to tell you. The reason why I'm doing it this way is I had actually scheduled the live in my back office in my studio. And I actually also had it all set up and it was looking good and everything. And I put it on my desktop. I actually put my computer on. So everything's set. It's in the back office. But I didn't see what I have to press to actually make it go live. So I'm like, how am I going to go live? You can imagine. I was a wee bit bothered by that. So here's the thing. We have obstacles in life. And we have barriers in life. How you doing? But you know what we don't accept? We do not accept failure. Well, let me rephrase that. We may think we failed, but if we don't quit, we cannot fail. So, yeah, right now, some things went down. I was a wee bit late on my live. I got to get my comb over and my comb to see if I can find my comb. You know what? I'm just going to have my comb over and just be the way it is. But here's the deal, guys and gals. Tonight, you're going to hear some exciting stuff. I think it's exciting. I don't know if you will. I'm not you. God bless you. But I am Albert, nicknamed Al Torcaso. Now, I know that the video ain't quite, the angles and everything isn't what I want right now. I'm working on it here. But tonight, you're going to learn about the ugly, the bad, and the good about actually being a live television talk show host. Now, I didn't say streamer. I didn't say podcaster. I didn't say on social media or online per se. I'm talking about an actual real live TV series on a real TV station. And I was a bona fide real talk show host for 19 years. Now, you can look it up. It's on the internet. Humanity Matters Live. Well, you're going to learn some stuff tonight if you stick around. Let me read this real quick. Hey! I believe it's Tate or something like Tate, or I believe it's Tate. Or no, Tatai. Tatai's in the building. All right. Well, so first of all, as I said, I'm Albert L. Torcaso, 412-559-2731. And I got to throw a couple of things out before we get to the fun stuff. And I believe you're going to think it's fun. I know there's too much space here and all that. I didn't have quite enough time thanks to the problems I had. But I have a good friend in life, and his name is Charles S. I don't say last names for protection. I'm all about security. Any rate, but I need to speak to him and find out what I didn't do right with regards to getting the original live hooked up. So anyway, here's the deal. A couple things you need to know. Yes, I'm an actual real live talk show host on television, 19 years. Humanity Matters Live, originally Humanity Matters. So I want to let you know what I had done in my capacity as a former and future talk show host. Last night, I came out and officially endorsed Live Good, that membership company that I'm in, and the one that you can become an affiliate. And no, this is not about Live Good, so don't be running. But I had to endorse it. I know some things about the people who created it that even y'all don't know. Even a lot of people that are in it just don't know. And I'm not saying that in a mean, condescending way at all. But I know what it is. I know what it isn't. And so therefore, I came out in my capacity as a talk show host to give them their first endorsement from an actual bona fide talk show host. That being said, no, I'm not all up about me. I'm a talk show host. No, because all the glory goes to God. But I have done what I've done. But let me get to the meat and the potatoes. Let me see. Let's say something healthier than that. Let's go with some spinach and some, I don't know. We'll go with broccoli, spinach, and cauliflower. Let's get healthier. That's right. That's right. So in 2004, I became a talk show host. Actually, not theoretically. In reality, I became a producer, a creator, and a talk show host. Actually, in reality, I'll tell you the whole deal on that. When you do public access, and it's pretty much dying in America, but public access is an actual station that was, a lot of times they would say it's a free speech kind of station. And it meant you could talk about this about anything, including profanity after a certain time in a lot of cases. But I prided myself on bringing people up. As a matter of fact, Humanity Matters was the original name, as I said. But when you're doing public access, you don't really learn anything for the most part. You learn extreme basics. So when I started in 2004, I had no real training. I mean, you basically knew how to use some of the equipment, but you actually did not know how to be a host, to be a producer. You didn't really know that. Let me see who we have here. Excuse me for New York Minute. I know it's embarrassing, but my computer's not working. Hey, Rose Schilling. My sister Rose is in the building, but she's in the chat. Hi, Rose. Happy birthday. It was Rose's birthday 2 days ago. Excuse me. 2 days ago, October the 11th, 2024. Well, that's not when she was born, but that's when she had a birthday. So as I was saying, you didn't learn anything at all in terms of being a host. I mean, they didn't even have like any kind of way at all, not even a class, not even advice. So basically, essentially, you had to learn it all on your own. So here's what happened. 2004, on my very first ever episode of Humanity Matters, my guest did not make it. So here I am. I'm attempting to do something I've never done before. And my guest doesn't show up. So I don't know about you, but I was like, help me, please. That's all right. So you would think, not knowing really how to do stuff, that would have been a bomb and it would have been a horrendous episode. Well, you'd be wrong. I love you all. Because of the glory of God, and I basically can't give you any other reason. I love atheists too, but I asked my father at the time, the second dad. He wasn't my biological dad, but he was a second dad, make no mistake. Albert Goldsmith. Unfortunately, Al died in 2008, and boy, do I still miss him to this day. But I said, Al, can you be my guest? And I said, yeah. So what are we going to talk about? And I basically didn't really know what to think about, but I started to just talk. I just started talking to my dad and asking questions. So then I had another episode, which I was able to get one of my guests, and unfortunately, he passed away too. His name was Les Brown. And he was actually a veteran, like my good friend, I think it's Tatai. Hopefully I got that right. Tatai Sanders. By the way, Tatai Sanders, who's in the chat right now, for those of you who are around, and my sister Rose, y'all might want to thank him for his service. He served in the United States Army for over 30 years. So you know what that makes him, ladies and gentlemen? An American hero. Now, he's not going to say he's a hero. You know what he's going to say? I mean, I'm not him. I can't guarantee he's going to say. But he might say something like, I was just doing my job. Or he might say, I was trying to earn some additional money. I was trying to stay out of trouble. That's what most of the veterans I've spoken to in my life said. They don't feel that they were heroes. But that doesn't mean that they weren't. They still are. I want to throw down, if you put that uniform on and you're risking your life, you're a hero. So deal with it. Or a heroine. The female version of a hero is actually pronounced heroine, which I think is ridiculous. But let me get back to the business at hand. So now imagine you just started this thing, didn't know what you're doing, but I had a successful episode. So my next episode was with the late Les Johnson. I almost said Brown. Hopefully I didn't say that. To the mentor and motivational speaker, Les Brown. I hope you live for another 5 to 50 years, brother. He's a good guy. Les Brown's a good guy. Look him up here on YouTube. So then my second episode was a success also. About my third or fourth episode, I said, it's time to play the race card. For anybody who's not white, stick around. You're going to like what I have done. And it's not what you think it was. But I walked into the station, which was predominantly staffed by African-American members. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this TV series, but I'm going to play the race card. And ladies and gentlemen, I did it because I wanted people at first to think I was a jerk. I really did. Oh, Jesus, race is going to play the race card. So I kind of pulled a fast one on people. Well, I played the race card. Over the years, I played that card so much it wasn't the card left. But I exposed the truth. And here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You might want to jot this down in your text or whichever way. You might want to write it down on a piece of paper. You just might. We as a people, and I'm speaking about every human being on earth, guess what? We're all delusional. You're delusional. I'm delusional. Every human that ever lived. You know why? Y'all might think, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that we allow ourselves to believe we're different races. Isn't that funny? Isn't that kind of weird? Last time I checked, a white person, a black person, a person of Asian descent, Middle Eastern descent, Native American descent, Jamaican descent, anyway, you can come up with, guess what? We're all the same race. We're the human race. But for some reason, people believe, oh, there's the white race, there's the black race, there's a Middle Eastern, there's whatever. That's the delusion. Now, way back in 2004, here's what I did. What I had done. One of my earliest episodes, I filmed the 3 rivers that are in Pittsburgh. The Monongahela, the Allegheny, and the Ohio. They all come together. And I spoke about why the elements are so powerful. Nature is so powerful because it does not discriminate. It does not segregate. It does not divide in any way. And yet, and still humans are like that. But I talked about that back in 2004. And I kept talking about it. Now, I promised you're going to learn some things about behind the scenes. Okay, here we go, Steelers. I'm sorry about that. And by the way, they did win today. Thank goodness for Set Boy. Thank goodness they won. Okay, everybody, you ready to learn a little something, something? So then, I can't tell you how many years later, I think it was like 4 years later, I decided to make Humanity Matters live. So every first Tuesday of the month, we would go live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we would go live opposite the news. But when we went live, we did not have a 5-second delay in the station. They didn't have the equipment. For whatever reason, they didn't have it. So if we got people calling in, because it was a live call-in show, I forgot to tell you that. It was a live call-in show. So we can get people that called in that were very ugly. That's the ugly part of this portion here. We had some ugly callers. We had some racist callers. Quite frankly, we had some callers that should have been in prison. Look, there may be people under the age of 16 here. So I got to be careful how I say this. But we had even a couple of callers, they were so sick. We had one or two callers that were not only racist, but let's just say that they had desires on children that they shouldn't have had. A lot of you know what I'm getting at. Yeah, they were that, the P word. And we couldn't do anything about it because we didn't have a 5-second delay. So I had a couple of episodes where I had like a 5-year-old child with her family and a 6-year-old child with her family. And these monsters and these evildoers, these evil people, at least one guy called in who was both the P word and a racist. This one particular child was of Black or African American, the pigmentation of brown, whatever you want to call it. I just saw her by her name. That's who I don't see people and all this nonsense. I don't live the delusion. Doesn't matter what your pigmentation is. You're a human being. That's why it was called Humanity Matters and Humanity Matters Live. Now, let me throw down on something here. So we had this racist person and ignorant, evil person call in. We couldn't stop it because the station didn't have a way to do it. That was the ugly part. So how did I handle it? Well, at first, I almost let my temper get to me because I may be Christian now, but I wanted to go through the screen and I wanted to put a universe, not a can, but an entire universe of hurt on that person. I'm going to keep G-rated. I wanted to take them out, and I don't mean for chicken. That's how mad I was. Now, let me go forward here. Somebody else said hello or something. Let me see what's going on here. Hey, Kirk Owen. For all of you that look in the chat, Kirk Owen is actually a former guest of Humanity Matters Live. He has a lot of skill sets, and I met Kirk when we actually did a haunted attraction. I believe it was 2000. We did a haunted attraction called the United States or USS Nightmare. We were on a boat, and I'm just saying, woo, we scared so many people, it should have been a crime. We did scare them. Kirk, well, he could tell you we did. But anyway, getting back to the stuff. So initially, I wanted to put a universal hurt on that person. But of course, All the glory goes to God. And also God is in charge. Not me. Not you. But the Lord God. For atheists, I love you all too. So what I had done was calmed myself down real quickly on live TV as it was happening. And I kindly asked the person in the control room, that was the only thing we didn't have to do is the control room, but basically asked them to cut them off. So they got away with a little bit, unfortunately, but they weren't in the rebroadcast. We had been able to edit them out. So the answer to your question, if you had one, is there wasn't anything we could do when it was live. Just like if somebody says something here in the chat, you can't really do anything unless you're able to reach and block them real quickly. You can eventually do that, but that's why we have moderators. And by the way, talking about moderators and YouTube Live and what have you, I'm not exactly sure how to do it, but a certain somebody, Tatai, is going to get a moderatorship as soon as I figure out how to do it. I'm gonna make him a moderator. He gave me that honor in his lives, which he will be going live in about an hour or so, I believe. And you want to go and check out his, I'm just going to spell it. Well, I think it's Tay Sanders. You want to check him out. He walks these 3 wonderful dogs. His first one is Baby, Blondie, and Rocket. Now, with regards to being alive and having ugly, I would get callers almost every time that would say foul language or just nasty stuff. And I'll share a little something with you. That's because I was controversial. When I did my TV series, I openly called for the end of the Republican Party. That's what I said. You heard me. I called for the end of the Republican Party. I said, financially, if you're a Republican and you're not wealthy, you shouldn't be a Republican because economically and in many ways it doesn't make sense. Now, I also said the Democratic Party or the Democrats should be on life support because they don't really do that great either. They do better. They do a little bit better with their policies, but they really are nothing to write home or text about. And so I openly said both parties are doing us wrong. Now, I don't want to even get started, but I've told secrets about the United States Congress and presidents that, let's just say, they didn't like me too much. Yeah, I went there. I done that, went there. Now, so because I would speak out against both sides, I would get some calls. Woo, but we get some calls. So the thing is, the only way we handled it was the only way we could. We got quiet for like 5 to 40 seconds so that they could edit it out before it got rebroadcast. Eventually, people figured it out that it wasn't going to work, so they quit calling, and we didn't have to worry about it. That was the ugly. Now, the bad sometimes was when the equipment didn't work from the station. And it was actually quite often. It happened a lot, like their call-in line wouldn't work. When we started using Zoom, that wouldn't work. I had an interview from across the world with a live rock band over there in Ireland. And it almost didn't work because they couldn't get it to work right. So there was a lot of bad, but there was also a huge amount of good. And this is exciting because I got personal and secondhand information from some of my viewers. One person told a friend of mine that was a co-host that something I had said on that TV episode prevented them from killing themselves. They didn't commit suicide because something I said. We had another person that was in the hospital, really down and out. I don't know what they were going through, but they were in bad shape. And something that I apparently said cheered them up. So when you hear that you said something that kept somebody from killing themselves, let me tell you, guys and gals, it's a very gratifying feeling, but it's also a very strange feeling because I'm just El Torcaso. I'm not a minister, a pastor. I'm not a rabbi or somebody, imam or anyone. I'm just me. So I got on another future episode back then. And eventually I got on and I said, listen, I am so glad you didn't kill yourself, to the person who didn't. And I am so happy that I said something that got you feeling better. I said, but it really wasn't me. I said, that came from an inner, I guess you could say it came from God. I mean, I never heard God speak to me. Obviously, I don't claim that. But that was just because of who I am. That's how I feel. And so I said, it wasn't me. It was God. But I am of Italian, actually Sicilian American descent or Sicilian descent. And I have to tell you, actually, one of the things I said on one of the episodes is, it wasn't me. I'm just a mouthpiece. Now, for those of you who never watched Mafia TV series or movies, a lot of times the Italian mob and maybe other mobs, they would call attorneys or lawyers, they would call them mouthpieces. So I was just being funny and I said, I'm just a mouthpiece. But I will tell you what happened not long after that. Not long after that, and I did say that it was God because it was. It wasn't me. I love agnostics and I love atheists and I love people of every faith. But there is, guys and gals, there is a higher power. You could call it the universe. You could call it the laws of the universe, the laws of attraction. Trust me, there's a God. We won't go into that. That's not tonight, but there is. Now, that being said, something very unique happened not long after that. There's a song, I want you to look it up online. Look it up, Spotify, YouTube, MyTuner, wherever you can. I need you to find a song by Prince. For those of you who don't know who Prince is, most people do, no matter what your age is, but Prince had a song back in the day, When Doves Cry. And in that song, he sung lyrics that said, maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. So eventually I became a lot like that character in the song, Prince's mother from the song. I don't know if Prince's mother was like that in real life. We don't know that. But I do know. But let me see this text here. Give me a second here. All right, let's see. I know you're seeing my comb over. Okay. Haunted attraction. I'm glad you said that and typed that in there, Kirk. You could actually text me some of that because I don't know how to copy, if we are able to copy our chats. And I don't know if it's recorded permanently for the rebroadcast. I would like to see that. My texting number for everybody is 412-559-2731. But getting back to business at hand. So that was the good part. People I was affecting their lives in a positive way because of God. Now, Let me get into a more technical side here before I go any further. For everyone who's a podcaster or a YouTube person or whatever you do on social media, technical issues are going to happen. You're going to have situations like I have right now. I have the camera way too low. I have a background I'm not in love with. There's a trillion excuses not to keep doing what you might want to do. Maybe you do a podcast, but it's all only audio because you don't feel you're attractive enough or smart enough, or whatever silliness you have, you're just not on camera or you don't feel comfortable on it. Well, guess what, guys and gals? Get comfortable real quickly. You matter. Now, here's the thing. In life, things happen. I never stopped. I was live at 6 p.m. I couldn't stop if I wanted to. It wasn't like here on YouTube if I want to quit the live. No. Once I started, I couldn't leave until 7 p.m. because the control room, they were going to keep it going no matter what. I could have been like, if I fell asleep, people would be watching me sleep. If I went, people would be seeing me doing that too, just like I just did it. So I want to impress upon everybody out there. A lot of things, good, bad, and ugly, happen on my TV series. But I wouldn't change it for all the money in the universe, not the world, the universe, or any form of money or anything of value. I wouldn't change it for anything. But with regards to the technical aspects, I don't know what your equipment is. But we had, honestly, in a lot of ways, I would say subpar equipment. But you keep going because it doesn't matter if you get a caller or somebody that's nasty in your chat to address, make it relevant to YouTube or what have you. In life, you're going to have evil. You're going to have mean-spirited people. You're going to have people who called you every name in the book. I was called every profanity you could imagine. I was called things. I had death threats when I was on Humanity Matters Live. I had stalkers, at least one. Yeah. I had people threaten to take me out because I had said something about the Democrats or the Republicans. I had our electric ended up being shut off because I had done an episode where I spoke out about our local electric company. And the very next day, our electric was out. Now, I made some calls, and it was on within 24 hours. I think it was a lot faster than that, actually. But the point is, I took on the big boys and girls. Oh, and I'm not bragging because all the glory goes to God. In fact, one of the things that I believe all of you should do is look up Humanity Matters Live here on YouTube. And there are just some episodes that you would open your mouth possibly and be like, I can't believe he said that. He could have got shot. Well, I said it. That's the other thing I want to address for every person that does content on YouTube, Facebook, X or Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Vivo or Viva, whoever it is. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter what way or what platform. You need to use your voice. Preferably, you're using it to bring people up. Preferably, if you want to earn money from it, you also want to earn that money by helping to change lives. Now, give me a second. I want to see who this person is and acknowledge them. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, that's the famous Ellis. How you doing, Ellis? I can't see everybody right now. I'm not trying to be rude. Like I said, I don't know how to keep my comments yet. I'm still pretty new to doing YouTube Lives. So anyone here that does know how, please text me at 412-559-2731, or you can actually email me at actoraj2@gmail.com. actoraj2@gmail.com. I had done acting for about 20 years before I started Humanity Matters Live. But getting back to the business at hand here. If you're on YouTube, even if you're only, maybe you have 0 subscribers right now and 0 views, you can't let that affect you. You can't stop. I don't care if nobody on the planet listens to your videos, and I'm not meaning it in a rude way. You still say what you have to say. You do what you have to do. Look, let me tell you something. If I had something that I needed to get out and all 8 billion people ignored it, I'd still get it out. You might be thinking, why? Because we as human beings absolutely need to realize that everybody has a value. Even the evil people. I don't like what they're doing. They need to be put in prison for what they do some cases. But you don't stop doing what you're doing. You don't let anybody, I don't care if you're on TV, on YouTube, Facebook, X, or Twitter, or Instagram, or LinkedIn, or any of that, and you're just talking about brushing your teeth. I really don't care. I'm serious. Do it. I did what I had done for 20 years, well, 19 years. I halted production of the TV series for a few reasons. One of them was they wanted to get too much money out of the producers. We actually had to pay the station an annual membership fee, and a lot of times we had to pay to actually do each episode. So what happened was in 2023, they were trying to have people pay anywhere from $1,500 to $10,000, $15,000, who knows? Well, about $5,000, depending on how many things you had done, and a lot of cost. But now the station actually in August, when they did that to too many people, they ended up going out. They ended up out of business. And it's like I say, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. And I say, and I actually say, I mean legally, ethically, peacefully, financially, morally, and spiritually. I always use that disclaimer. But let me tell you something. It's true. If you're doing wrong, eventually you're going to pay a price. And I will say this. In America, it seems like a lot of people can commit any crime they want, and they're above the law. Let me assure you, that's not the case. They think they are. They may even live their entire life and not have to pay for it on this planet while they're alive. But trust me when I tell you, whether you're an atheist, an agnostic, you believe in a higher power, there is going to be some repercussions when we expire, when we die. Now, it may not be for a while, but it's going to happen. So if you think you're getting away with it, let me tell you, friends, you're not. You're just not. And I will share something with you. There are people in all forms of government in our country, the United States of America, and in every country that are committing crimes and getting away with it. Yeah, there are government officials in America and probably every country that get away with it because for whatever reason, they're not held accountable. But don't worry about it, friends, because they're eventually going to have to face God, or if you want to call it the universe. If you don't think that's legitimate, I've seen some instant justice. I've seen some people call instant karma. I said, God not playing. I've seen it happen. Now, I'm trying to think of what else I can give you advice on. Well, I can tell you that one of the things that would happen on live for me and a lot of our other producers that were at the station's equipment would malfunction. There were even times when you would be live and their broadcasting would just die. So everything shut down. You were gone. They had situations where their phones didn't work. Just a whole lot of stuff. Their social media and their Zoom. So there were a lot of challenges. But we never stopped. We didn't quit. I know I personally never quit. And I know a gentleman named Luther D. He never quit, and he had multiple TV series. In fact, he had usually done sports. He had, I believe the name was Steel City Sports World. I believe it could have been a little bit different. But he had a gentleman as a co-host named Smoking Jim. He at one point he had Claudio Rilsano and a few other co-hosts. And I didn't bring this up yet. I forgot to do that. But when I eventually went live and gone live with Humanity Matters Live, I was by myself like I am here. But eventually I decided I wanted co-host. So I started having co-hosts. So if you look at the later years, if you go on to YouTube, look up Humanity Matters Live, you'll see quite a number of different co-hosts. At one point, we had Linnell Jones Jr. We had the late Albert R. Goldsmith. Sometimes he would come in and be like a one-day co-host. We had the late Chris Wise. We've had Attila Lee, the living Attila Lee, God willing, because he does have, unfortunately, he does have the word answer. It rhymes with the word answer. Yeah, he has that. I hope Attila's good. Excuse me. And we've had various people as co-hosts, including Mike McCutcheon. And for those of you who know about Major League Baseball, he is actually distantly related to the baseball player who's currently on the Pittsburgh Pirates, Andrew McCutcheon. We have one of his relations, Mike McCutcheon, or Michael McCutcheon. And what happened was, that's another thing I should have brought up. I brought people on my TV series that normally, if you've seen them on TV, they were exploited. They were brought on, I don't want to say to make fun of, but maybe to try to get ratings. Or, let's put it this way. We all know what we mean. I mean, when I say they're a TV series, that you might see them, and they're always talking about my girlfriend was with my brother, some nonsense. But it's always to be, I'm not going to say always, but a lot of times to really exploit people. Well, here's what Humanity Matters and what I had done. I brought on people as co-hosts, not as guests. I brought them on as guests too, but as co-hosts that might have had mental health issues, physiological issues. I had the late Chris Weiss. He was so obese. He was actually, I don't mean to be mean, morbidly obese to the point where he literally could not really sit in the chairs that the station had. And many, many, many times, he also had other medical issues. He would be on live TV, we would be on live TV, and he would start to fall asleep, and myself or Ned would have to kind of wake him up. The fact that the late Chris Wise was one of our co-hosts, I really did appreciate that because he had gone through a lot. I go through a lot too, by the way, medically, but I feel a lot better now that I've been doing what I've been doing, which I may say later, the products that I've been taking, but we won't go onto that ride right now. But the reality of it is Chris was morbidly obese and very sick, but he wanted to be on the series. Even when he got to the point where I was like, Chris, you can't do it. You're going to be in bad shape. I was worried about him, but he wanted to be there. So Chris Weiss was there. If you look up the episodes of Humanity Matters Live, you most likely are going to find him. I brought on my girlfriend, Annette Mendel, Mendel. And I mentioned how I brought on Attila and Mike and a lot of other people. But also, I would have fun episodes. I would have episodes and topics that were controversial, political, might be spiritual. You name it, I did it. And by the way, when I had a topic that needed some exposing, that people were afraid to say, even amongst our friends, I said it publicly. Remember I said earlier, I said things that could have got me killed. I wasn't joking. I'm serious. But I took on the politicians, and I was tough on them. You've heard of the TV series 60 Minutes? One person said, I'm more like 120 minutes. They did say that. They didn't like some of the things that I would do. Because I would tell the truth and nothing but the truth, and they didn't like it. Oh, and for the record, for all the liberals out there were things that I told about the Democrats here in America. Big time. Y'all just don't know what some of them have been doing. And I told about the Republicans. If you was an independent, it didn't matter. If you were doing wrong, I exposed you big time. And a lot of people didn't like that. That's why I had so many calls where they attempted to use profanity. They just didn't like the truth. And I also took on multi-billion-dollar industries publicly, even told them what I was going to do after I was off the episode. I'm going to bring this up because it's important. As a YouTuber or a person that's an influencer, I don't care your platform, you can use your voice to make life and death changes and things that are for the good. Your mouth and your voice might save lives. So you don't worry about the background. You don't worry about the aesthetics. You don't worry about this. You don't worry about your hair is messed up. Ladies and gentlemen, I really don't care. I care, but I don't. Yes, I want things to be great. I would like to live in a mansion and a high-end, multi-$100,000 camera crew and everything. And that will come with God's mighty help someday. But ask me if I'm going to change. I'm not. The message ain't going to change. But I want to tell you something. I took on 2 multi-billion-dollar medical establishments. One of them was UPMC. It stands for the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. They're located, their base is in Pittsburgh, PA, and they are in different parts of the world now and different cities. You may have even heard of UPMC. And then, of course, I took on Allegheny Health Network and Highmark on an episode. Multi-billion-dollar companies and organizations. Why did I do it? I'll tell you why, guys and gals. Because they call themselves competitors. And they were willing, now I want you all to hear this, they were willing to have about 250,000 people not be able to get their medical care because they called themselves competitors. So if you had Highmark or Allegheny Health Network, you couldn't go to any hospital or doctor that was associated with UPMC, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. I took them on. But I, myself, and the late Chris Wise, we did a wee bit more than that behind the scenes. You know what we did? You know what we had done? We contacted our state legislators. We even contacted our United States congressmen and women. We also contacted, believe it or not, you ready for this? I even called the White House. And I also, on that live TV, because I got to take a look at this, I know that I hope I'm saying it right, Mr. Sanders is going to be going live in a little bit, and I'm going to be getting out of here so I can go into his and watch him take care of Baby, Blondie, and Rocket. So I won't be too much longer, ladies and gents, but what I had said on live TV is I said, listen, if UPMC and Highmark is going to claim to be competitors, and they are going to risk the health and lives of 250,000 people, then I think it's time to take away their nonprofit status. Yeah, I forgot that. I omitted that. They are considered, both of them are what they call nonprofits. They save billions or hundreds of millions of dollars every year, and for the last who knows how many years, not paying the taxes because they're a nonprofit. So on live TV, ladies and gents, I'll give you an idea how powerful you can be, how strong your YouTube or anywhere else you are, your voice can be. Here's what went down. On live TV, I said to every state legislator, to the governor of Pennsylvania, and to the United States congressmen and senators, and even the president of the United States, I implore you to take away UPMC's and Highmark's nonprofit status because they say they're competitors and they're willing to have 250,000 people not be able to get their medical treatment and medical care. So let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's why people didn't like me on TV. Because if you were doing wrong, I let you know. Oh, and you remember how I said I used to have a tagline that went a little bit like, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. Well, y'all are going to need to look on YouTube for comedian Chris Rock. Back in the early 2000s, I think even to the mid 2000s, Chris Rock had a routine and he would always say, now that ain't right. And he would use that a lot. Now that ain't right. So I didn't say it like some straight-laced person. I liked Chris Rock. I still do. I don't like the foul language, but I like Chris. And it was wrong what Will Smith had done, but we won't go on that ride. But anyway, Chris Rock would say things like, now that ain't right. I can't, I'm not trying to intimidate him. I mean, I'm not intimidating him. I mean, imitate. But he would say something like, now that ain't right. So actually, I created an episode with myself and Linnell Jones Jr. It was Humanity Matters Live. Now that ain't right. Well, actually, Humanity Matters Live, that ain't right. And you should be able to find that somewhere on YouTube. But anyway, here's what I would do. If somebody was doing wrong, here's what I would do. I would say, if you ain't doing right, I said, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. That's how I would do it. That's right. I would do that. And my co-hosts, a lot of times they'd be laughing. They're like, Al, you something else. Yeah, I would do that. And then I would automatically use the disclaimer. Because look at my face. I'm of Sicilian descent. They put me in prison even when I'm innocent over here. Seriously, though, man, I wasn't going to take that chance. So here's what I would say. I would say, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. And then I'd say, I mean legally, peacefully, morally, ethically, financially, and spiritually. Always said it. No joke. Because that's no joke. You don't play with that. Now, I want you to know who I really am. I fight for what is right. Legally, ethically, with my voice, with texting, whatever. So I don't say that you should fight back and advocate when somebody does wrong to you legally, or if you get overcharged in the store. I don't tell you to do something that I wouldn't do. I'm going to give you another little, I'm going to expose a company again. Right here, right now. I was with Verizon, Fios, for many years. And they kept raising our price. At one point, for basic internet, television, and phone, they were actually billing us $250 or more per month. When you factored in the fees, it was about $300 a month. Now, remember, I always said, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. And I added financially, right? Well, here's what happened, guys and gals. I called up Verizon, gave them their chance. I said, oh, that's the lowest we can get? I said, well, thank you. You have a good night. You have a good afternoon, actually. You know, had I stayed there, we would have been paying $3,600 or more a year. $3,600 a year or more. So here's what happened. Remember I said, if you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. And I mentioned financially. I took my subscription and I got rid of it. So they went from getting at least $300 a month to $0.00 because they weren't doing right. Let that be a lesson to all of you. All of you. In closing, you can achieve greatness. Because like Les Brown says, who's here on YouTube, you have greatness in you. But what I like to say, and I'm sorry, you won't have to see my comb over because I'm coming over here. Oh, yeah. I'm going to bring this baby here. You got to hear this. And I need to check out this chat anyway. Sorry, girls and guys, but hey, it is what it is over here. Yeah, I'm a wee bit different than most people, and that's true. My great friend, mentor, business partner, and all-around great guy jokingly says, people don't meet El Torcaso. They experience El Torcaso. That's my great friend, mentor, and his name is, I gave him a nickname as Superman. So let me tell you his name. Ivan Superman Harris, Sr. Ivan Superman Harris, Sr. I want you to look up Ivan Harris, Sr. here on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere. You need to know Ivan Harris, Sr. But he likes to jokingly say, people don't meet El Torcaso, they experience him. It's the El Torcaso experience. I don't know if I go that far, but I do want to impress upon all of you, every one of you. You will not give up if you have one subscriber on YouTube or wherever you are. You're not giving up. I'm not asking you. With God's mighty help and in Jesus' name, I'm commanding you to take care of yourself and believe in yourself. You are not giving up. I'm sorry, getting all up into your grill or your business, but you're too important. Yeah, Kirk, and let me see who else is here. Kirk is, and oh my goodness, I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi to, it looks like, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, Edon or Edon, Edon. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I didn't get a chance to read any of this. I'm sorry. Let's see, we got Kirk, of course. Thank goodness. I'm glad you're here, Kirk, or was here. Don't know who's here now, but Alice, of course. Hi, Alice, and everybody. Like I said, if I can get to this and keep it, I will. I promise. And I will answer any questions you may have had. Text me personally at 412-559-2731. You'll actually get the very phone, the text to the very phone I'm using to do this live. But I had to say something in closing. I don't care where you are with your subscriptions. I'm going to actually tell you a little story in closing, but it's not actually a story. It's actually true. Oh, okay. Okay. Only see one person. I hope I finally got your name right. I'm going to say Tatai. Is it Tatai or is it Tate? I think it's Tatai, but I could be wrong. Tatai's in the building. Pretty soon I'm getting out of here because I have some babies to watch go for their walk. Baby, Blondie, and Rocket. Go ahead, babies. They're my babies. In case some of you don't know, I love animals. I love people, but I love animals too. But in closing, to everybody that ever watches this, does not matter where you start. I have to add one other thing in closing, and I have to show you something. In here, I have my drink again, my Live Good drinks. I keep telling people about this company. I keep telling them, I don't just do Live Good, I live good. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't get much sleep again last night. Menzy, I guess. A little bit. But what did I have in here? I have my E3. It's like an energy drink. It has a lot of great stuff from Live Good. It's Live Good. Excuse me. It's actually, I don't know if it's called E3. I have to look at it again. I mean, I know my products, don't get me wrong. I call it E3. But I also have my Live Good aminos in here, and my Live Good Super Reds, and my Live Good Super Greens. Before that, about 20 minutes before I got on here, I took 2 capsules of my Factor 4, and I took about 4 hours ago, I took my Shilajit, not sure I'm pronouncing that right, Shilajit, which is very healthy and really good. And of course, I took my probiotic gut product that they have. I mentioned that because I'm not trying to advertise Live Good. I don't need to. It's that good. But I bring it up for a reason. One of the things that I want for everybody here on the planet, really, even the people that are evil, I don't want them to be evil, but I want all of you to actually have abundance in your life. In fact, I never got to it. I meant to get to it. I apologize. But I got like I was saying from When Doves Cry from Prince, I got like Prince's mother from that song. I wasn't satisfied. So after people told me they didn't kill themselves, after they told me they ended up, getting a little bit better in the hospital, they felt better and all that, I got unsatisfied. I said, I want to be having impact in people's lives 24 hours a day. Because all the glory goes to God. It's not because of being arrogant or any of that. But the reason I still want that, and I'm going to fight for you and work as much as I can to get all of you to become affiliates in Live Good. I literally want every one of you not only to become Live Good affiliates and Live Good members, but I want you to realize that if you don't get a sign up to be an affiliate right away, or if you don't get a member, I don't care how long it takes. with God's mighty help, I believe you'll get there. We don't quit. We are human beings. We are here because God or the universe decided to bring you here. You're here today. Now, I want you to think about this, and it is kind of sad, but think about how many people die every second of every day since the beginning of humanity. Do you realize there are billions and billions and billions of people who are dead? There are billions that were never born yet, and billions that weren't born for whatever reason. There are billions of people that are dead. You're alive. You are alive, and you're here for a reason. So I don't care who you are. You don't give up. I don't care what your circumstances is, how many times maybe your family gets on your last nerve. Get a new set of nerves. Go to the hospital, get a nerve transplant or nerves transplant. I'm being silly there, but I don't care what it takes. You don't quit. If I don't quit, you don't quit. Now, everybody on the face of the earth needs to check out. And I'm not saying it because I'm going to get paid. I'm saying it because I want all of us to have the ability to potentially get paid. So everybody needs to listen up. You need to go to livehealthyrightnow.com. You need to watch that 5-minute video. And here's the reason. You go there, you take it seriously. Not only could you be possibly changing your life, you could be possibly changing the lives of everybody you love or loves you. And that's not some hype. Look at my body of work. Listen to me when I'm on my episodes and I'm kind of letting people know what's going on. You know, I don't know the particular episodes where I took on, the electric company. I don't know the episode when I took on UPMC and Highmark, but they exist. What is right is always right. What is wrong is always wrong. We have to strive to do what is right. And as far as I'm concerned, no matter who you are, you have genius in you. You have an ability that even you don't necessarily know about. As far as can you succeed, I'm going to go off a little bit. People ask me, can they really succeed and live good? Not only can you succeed, but you, in the meantime, as a member, can start getting your hands on some real quality products that has the potential to change your life. It's done it for me. It's done it for me. And by the way, actual doctors have verified that some of the things I've said are actually happening. So anybody who's in Live Good, you are a champion, like Ivan Harris says. He's not wrong. You are a champion. If you're in Live Good right now, you're a champion. And your family may not know, but you just changed their life. And all you need to do is take it seriously and not quit. I don't care who you are on the planet Earth, just don't quit. Now, as far as my fellow YouTubers that actually make content, maybe you do lives of your own, like my main man over here, T. Sanders. I'm just going to say T. Sanders right now. I'm actually going to end this in about a New York second. So I just want all of you to know I love you. Text me at my cell phone, 412-559-2731. It's time for you to realize you are a genius. Oh, and TS over here, he happens to be a hero. God bless everybody. God bless America, and God bless the entire world. Love y'all. 412-559-2731. That's right. 412-559-2731. Holy macaroni and cheese.